What's going on, guys? Now, does this photo make you uncomfortable? What about this image? Does this make you feel a little creeped out, a little nervous by any chance? If so, you probably have the fear known as Thalassophobia. I have this fear, and the fear is of open bodies of water, the ocean, just really anything to do with the water sort of freaks us out. Now, this is not an irrational fear like trypophobia or anything, even though I do have trypophobia. This is a true fear that I feel like nearly everyone probably has, because we don't know what's underwater. You're not gonna catch me deep sea diving anytime soon. Now with me, on top of having a fear of the underwater realms, I also have a fear of things that are larger than life. So sharks, for instance, that live underwater. So that's already fucked. And like, the idea of Atlantis freaks me out, because I also have a fear of abandoned places. So it's an underwater, abandoned city, which is huge. And we don't know what's there. We don't know where it is. We don't know if it's real. And it freaks me out. Now, why am I bringing this up? Well, even though I am terrified of these things, I also have a fascination in it. And because of that, I was doing a bit of YouTube research in Thalassophobia, and I found this video by the YouTube channel The Checkpoints Show, which is just about thalassophobia in video games. And I was curious, I was like, okay, what games affected me when it comes to thalassophobia? And I can think of many, but I decided to pick 5 for you guys. But before we jump into it, please, if you have not subscribed yet, please do so, because only 23% of you guys that watch these videos are actually subscribed, so please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with the videos that we upload. Anyway guys, let's jump into it with Subnautica. Now, if you've played Subnautica, you know exactly what I mean when I say, oh fuck that shit, because holy shit, everywhere is water. Now, I like the idea of this game. I like the whole survival aspect. It's kind of like a twist on Minecraft's gameplay in games like Ark Survival Evolve, but of course in a water setting, which is just, you know, it's kind of cool. And my girlfriend is actually the one who got me onto this game, and we were going to do a thing where I played the game and she looked up things for me to get so we could sort of work through it together, because there's not many games that we can do that with. This was one that we could do that, but not for long. When you jump into the game, you obviously have your pod, and then you look out and you see that giant ship that's crash landed, and it's like, oh god, there's the fear of big things and the fear of water coming together. Oh god. So when I started out, I was actually doing all right. I'm going underwater. I'm like, hey, this isn't too bad. You know, there's like shallow parts, there's a few little deep parts, and I'm harvesting this, harvesting that. I'm getting fish, and I'm doing some good stuff. And sure enough, I came across a few of the enemies. I'm like, okay, that's creepy. I don't like that thing, but you know, I started to get used to it. And then Holly said, hey, you know, if you want, there is a civilization sort of area I'm pretty sure that we can go to. And I was like, great, because I feel so alone in this game. So I was like, cool. And then as we were going to do that, I heard that there was a sort of noise that played, and it had something to do with the ship. So I thought, hey, maybe we can go to the ship now. So I decided to just jet over to that area. I had my little underwater jet boat thing, and we just piss bolted. On the way to the crashed ship, I started to notice that the water was getting deeper and deeper and darker and darker. This distilled so much fear in me, my chest started to sink, and I just wanted to scream because it was freaking me out. So I decided to try and keep my head bobbing out of water because I was like, yeah, this isn't doing well for me. And we get closer and closer to the ship, and then I realize I can't do anything with the ship. So going that distance was a waste of time. But luckily, I sort of lined up more or less straight up with where I had to go for civilization. So Harley was like, hey, turn around and go this way. I'm like, cool. So I do that. I go underwater and I go. Sure enough, before I knew it, I heard some noise behind me. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was like a, or like a, and I was like, oh, fuck, because I didn't know what it was. I turned around and this thing, I can't even remember what it was, just shot at me and went, I jumped up so quickly. I threw my controller, I turned off the Xbox, and I was like, nope, I'm not playing this game ever again, and I haven't played it since, because that just freaked me out way too much. Now, whilst we're talking about games that are sort of like Minecraft, why not talk about Minecraft? Now, this is a very minor one, because as you know, Minecraft is not a very scary game to most. To me, the game is just an eerie sort of atmospheric sort of thing. When you're going mining and you hear those little like noises, it's like, oh, cool, bruh. So I always used to turn some of those ambient noises down when I played, but I'm an adult now. I can get through that shit. But you know what I can't still get through? Is the water. The open bodies of water in Minecraft, to me, sometimes freak me out. It's so small, it's so minor, but it just does. Like, there's nothing in the water that can really hurt me, but going underneath it, the fear of drowning, it just all culminates into one big sort of thing. I think it really came from when I was playing the alpha build back when that came out in like 2011, and you could still reach the end of the world because it wasn't a continuously repeating area that they could just add on. There would be the end of the world, and for me, when I traveled to the end of the world in my Minecraft map, it was in a deep body of water. So sure enough, I'm swimming through the water, and I realize, oh shit, and it just drops off, and I'm like, oh, and I get up, there's no island for fucking reach at all, it's just death. Death is below, and it freaked me out, I couldn't do it. Now, the next one I want to jump onto is another one that I feel like people can agree with, and that is Sea of Thieves. Now, Sea of Thieves is a really cool adventure, piratey setting with skeletons that you can kill. You have your own ship. You can choose the size of your ship. You can play it with friends. It's just such a cool concept. I used to play it solo, so that's probably why it used to freak me out more. The opening of the game, you're in your ship and you're like, okay, cool. And then you just see all these other ships and you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna die? And then this fucking Cthulhu Leviathan thing just pops up out of the water and starts fucking eating them. And I'm like, oh god, H.P. Lovecraft, what have you done to me? And I was like, ever since that point, I was like, there's gotta be more out there. And so I'm doing my quests, I'm doing my little run around missions, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is a lot of fun. I sometimes crash my ship, I have to repair it, it's really cool concept. And then there was one point where I had to go to an island that was really far away. So I decided to just sort of like chuck it on autopilot. I let all the things down and I just sort of like let it go. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna go stand on at the front of the ship and just look out with my binoculars and be like, "Arr, I see in the ocean. Arr, the island is coming closer. We must get the booty, arr." Just being an idiot, having fun. And then Karma was like, "You're being too stupid." And I just get flung off the boat for some reason. And then, whilst my boat is just pissing off in the other direction, I'm in an open body of water floating around. I'm like, oh god. I decided to go under the water. It's just deep blue nothing. And I go, oh god! And I just run up and I turn off the Xbox because I couldn't handle it. I could not do that today. Now, the next one is going to be from the Assassin's Creed series, and that's Black Flag, Origins, and Odyssey. Now, Black Flag is a smaller one, but it was the first one that sort of cemented the fear in me for these sort of video games. And that's because, you know, you're in a ship, you get to use your boat to get around, and there's open bodies of water everywhere. And like, you know, whales will come out of the water. And that wasn't like a, oh, fuck me, a whale, wah! It was more like, oh, fuck me, a whale, wah! It was cool. So nothing really scared me in Black Flag. It was just, if I did jump out of the boat at any point and went underwater and I could see that there was just, nothingness, I'll be like, I'm gonna get back up in my big ship with all my friends, because you have friends, you have all the people, you can sing sea shanties. So Black Flag was a smaller example. But then we have Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, I love Egyptian mythology. I love that shit. So this game was just perfect to me. And it also comes into that things that are larger than life, because there's the pyramids, there's the Great Sphinx, that sort of thing. I'm like, oh, it's chest tightening, but I'm so fascinated and love it that it's not freaking me out that much. But I didn't realize how much water was going to be in that game, because I 100%ed this game. I got every treasure, I got all the trophies. If you can guess, to get all the treasure, you have to go swimming a few times. There's crocodiles in the waters, and I'm like, oh, fuck. And there's like things that have fallen underwater. It's like, oh god. But the one moment that I can remember is in Memphis, Tennessee. Well, I was walking in Memphis, walking with my feet standing on some shit. And I was like, okay. There is statues under the water here. They're not big, they're not huge, but they're still broken under the water, just there. And I'm like, oh god, there's that fear, that sinking sensation in my gut. So that sort of got me. And then the announcement of Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Now, my whole fear of big things comes from Greek mythology and the big statues of gods, and the fact that there is just a head of one washed up on the ocean somewhere in Greece. I don't know where, but fuck that. But I just got that fear. So when this game was announced, I was like, oh great, everything I love and hate, it won! And so, you know, playing the game, I didn't realize how much water was going to be in this one either. There was so much water to traverse, and this was the one where I was scared the most of going in the water, because I was just scared that I was just going to go under, and there was going to be just a statue broken in half of a god just with its trident, just like fucking, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. It freaked me out too much. And I didn't finish Odyssey because I just didn't like it as much as Origins. It was sort of a letdown. But it was still a fun game and it looked great. And yeah, the statues were freaky. And then of course, there's the Atlantis DLC, which is, fuck that. I haven't played it. And I know I don't want to because it's freaky, but I also want to because it's freaky. So I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Now, the last one I'm going to jump on really quickly is Shadow of the Colossus, which is one of my favorite games of all time and is another example of taking the things I love and the things I hate and putting it together. We got the big giant colossi that just scared the living hell out of me just because of their stature, but the amount of times I play that game, it's less like, oh my god! It's more like, I'm gonna fuck you up. But there are a few colossi that are sort of revolved around water. Specifically, there's the one which has the electric thorns on its back and you sort of go under the water. And it's not even the battle that gets me, it's just the atmosphere. It's just empty. There's all this dark water around you and you're like, huh. And then there's the temples, the things coming out of the water. And I'm like, that's also bigger things underwater. No. So that freaks me out. And then there's one of the battles where it's one of the colossi and it comes up out of the water and he's still, you can tell he's big because that body of water is so fucking deep that he's only coming out like just enough for you to start fighting him. I'm like, oh great. And if you go back there after you beat him, he's sort of like mossy and overgrown, and you can go underwater and look at how fucking big he is, and it's like, and that's a literal audio representation of my fear of the colossi in that game when it comes to the bodies of water. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little ramble, this little video about Thalassophobia. If you guys share this fear with video games, please drop down in the comments below, like, what really got you when it came to games. Even if it's not Thalassophobia, if there's any other sort of phobias that get you, like the fear of heights when it comes to games, such as Grand Theft Auto, jumping off buildings, or, you know, if you're like me, fear of big things, you know? Let us know in the comments down below. We might even make a video about it and shout you guys out. Anyway, guys, catch you later.